In this video, I'm answering questions that you asked me about music marketing. And if you're wondering where I asked for you to submit questions, I have this brand new community. There's a link to request access below if you want to become part of the community. It's invite only right now, so just request to be invited and we'll get you in there soon. But yeah, we're just going to work through these one by one. I'm going to try to do this on a somewhat regular basis. So let's start off with, I don't know if I'm saying this name right, Harshit Arora. I'm probably saying that wrong. But his question is two parts. What's the biggest mistake you see people making on their first campaign? And then number two is in line with the Pareto principle. What is the 1/few strategies you found that have given me the most results? So I would say in terms of like the biggest mistake I've seen people make with their first campaign, it's probably only making like one campaign, one ad set, and one ad, meaning they're not testing multiple audiences. So if I pull up Facebook ads, let me just make an empty campaign. So I'm making an empty campaign here. Like, you know, people will go through, they'll fill out their campaign level, they'll fill out their audience, and then they'll fill out their ad, but they won't bother testing multiple creatives. So like you can make multiple ads inside of your ad sets. These would be like different parts of your song, with different videos for each part of the song, and then you can have different audiences. So if this one's targeting like artist 1, then this one would be targeting like artist 2 or genre 2. This one would be targeting artist 3 or genre 3. And as long as you turn on campaign budget optimization, Facebook's basically just going to test all this stuff. So whatever budget you set is going to be split across everything, and Facebook's going to try to find you the best result across all of those. So I say that's probably the most common big mistake I see people make. They just try one audience with one ad, and then it goes badly, and then they give up. So in that same kind of line, you're asking about the Pareto principle. What's like the couple strategies that give people the most results? When it comes to like getting your costs down in terms of cost per conversion for someone going to check out your music, I would say it's really this, because it's, you know, essentially you make your 3 video ads, let's say chorus, verse, pre-chorus or something, and then you have to do some research to find like different audiences that might work. But this, like, there's really 2 ways to get your cost per conversion down. Pretty much only 2, assuming your campaign is set up correctly and it's functioning. One is testing different audiences to see which one likes it more and is converting at a cheaper cost. The other one is testing different ads to see which ads are most likely to get people to convert. If you focus on those 2 things, assuming, you know, all the technical stuff is handled, the music is good enough quality, testing audiences and testing ads is where you should probably spend the most of your time. It's definitely where I spend the most of my time. So let's go to, by the way, thanks for that question. That's a good question. Then next we have Thomas Dieter. Hi, Andrew. What's the best way to be sure conversions will translate into streams? So I wanted to point this out in this video. I almost just replied to your comment, Thomas, but I thought I'd just point it out. If you click this little video right here, I made a video. Basically, if you're getting conversions but they're not translating into streams, this video will help you figure out what to do, because there's just kind of a few things you can try, and if that doesn't work, there's other things you can try. Not a super common problem, but common enough where I have common solutions for it. So check out that video, Thomas, or anyone else having that problem. Thanks for the question. I'm going to like these posts just so I remember that I read them. Sebastian, since conversions, I think there's a typo in here. Since conversions have become more expensive, I would be interested in strategies using traffic ads in a supportive way alongside conversion ads. Step-by-step guide to warm up an audience, or even to find your audience and keep the cost down for conversions. So traffic ads to a cold audience, which you're kind of hinting at this in a bit, but like in general, traffic ads to a cold audience don't work, at least not to Spotify. There's a few reasons. One is like the way that bots interact on the platform. They're programmed to interact with like the API of Facebook, Instagram, so they can do things on the platform. They can watch videos, they can like, they can comment, they can click links, but they often can't jump on a website and convert, unless they're specifically programmed to that. But why would someone program a bot to like land on a page, know what to do, and click a button and convert the way that a human would? It wouldn't make sense. So you're kind of hinting that in the second half of your question, step-by-step guide to warm up an audience or even find your audience. One thing you can do, one way that I use traffic ads sometimes is I will run a traffic ad retargeting people who have converted in the past and or people who have watched more than like 50% of a 2 to 3 minute long video. But I don't send them straight to Spotify. I still send them to a landing page so I can track how many of those people click through and also where they're going. If you're retargeting people, I'd probably make a separate landing page that has every music service the song is on, literally like almost every single one. So go to your distributor, see where you are, and link all of them on there. That way you're just letting people go to the platform of their choosing, and you're going to get a higher click-through rate if you do it that way with this retargeting strategy. So the kind of strategy would be like if you're running conversion campaigns and you come up with a new song, you can totally retarget those people with a traffic campaign, and that will probably work pretty well. I've had decent results with that. You could also, if you're running video view ads on longer form content, you could retarget people who watch a significant portion, let's say like over a minute of content, and do the same thing. Traffic link click campaign to your landing page that has all the sources on it. So the kind of steps for that would be like you have to run a video view campaign targeting a few different audiences to test them out. And let's say it's a full music video or something, 3-minute video. You're going to test these audiences and see which audiences get you the cheapest, let's say 25 or 50% video view. So it's like roughly a minute of content that they've consumed. Because if they did that, they're probably pretty interested, right? And then you would make a custom audience of people that watch that threshold of time for that video and then retarget them in a traffic campaign. I don't know if it'd be cheaper though. In fact, I'm almost positive it would be more expensive. At least when you're starting off. Over time, that audience will be big enough where it'll probably be pretty great. But starting off, it'll initially be more expensive, I would think. So conversion costs are more expensive now, but I want to point out that like I still have campaigns that are running that get very good cost per conversion. So like I was talking to someone last week who had like 17 cents per conversion on one of their campaigns going to like a toned down landing page and that jazz. If I look at, I have a million campaigns, so I want to pick one that actually, older songs. This one's probably a decent one. Share screen. So this is a campaign that's promoting both my songs Socialize and Chains. And if I look at like last 7 days, this Linkin Park audience, 9 cents a conversion. This brand wide open Mexico Brazil audience, 19 cents a conversion for the past 7 days. Last 14 days, 16 and 19, average 19. Last 30 days, a little bit higher. And if I go maximum, I guess this Linkin Park did bad at first, but it's still 24 average for the whole duration. And a lot are coming from Mexico and Brazil. Like I purposefully designed this campaign to be cheap, but it converts very well on Spotify. Now, campaign costs are higher. Like probably a year ago, I would have expected an open Mexico-Brazil audience to be, maybe not 19, maybe like 12 or something. So costs are up. But the other factor of this is that Facebook's missing conversion. So even though this says 508, I would expect this to be more like 600 if I had a dedicated landing page for that, because Facebook's missing more conversion. So cost per conversions are definitely up, like on average. But that doesn't mean you still can't get fantastic costs. Just because you see people getting campaigns that are doing worse, that doesn't mean anything, because different songs do. If you really want a true comparison, you have to run the exact campaign you ran like a year ago and launch it again and see how it compares, because different songs will just do differently, right? Different videos, different landing pages, like everything affects it. So to do a pure test, you'd want to launch an old one and compare it to this. And this is essentially similar to my campaign for Socialize, which you could probably find that old video for, but that's kind of why I still do conversions. Like I do still do some of the traffic stuff for retargeting, but I just wanted to kind of point out that example. Thanks for the question. Noah Zimmerman, what do you think is more important for small artists focusing on music production or music marketing? You really have to do both, unfortunately. I mean, the thing is with the music production, like before you market your music, I would say a threshold for quality, like in your genre, you should want to be at least 80% as good quality-wise as anything you would hear like in the top professional, like famous artist realm. Like in terms of quality, meaning I don't know, if you were to show a bunch of people and then have them rate, if like you compare it to a certain artist and they would say that's a 10 out of 10, you'd want them to rate the quality of your song as an 8 out of 10. And it's hard to know exactly when that is, but like if you listen to your song and listen to a pro song and you're like, wow, my thing sounds like trash, you probably need to spend more time working on your music before getting to marketing. But if you listen to it and you're like, you know, I could definitely improve, but like this is getting close, you know, then I think getting into music marketing probably makes sense, because you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the best. I just think you need to, you know, people have a certain expectation of quality, so you really have to have both. If your music's like before even getting into music marketing, your music has to be at least good to a certain audience. I have seen people have mediocre music and have reasonably good results with music marketing, but then again, music's subjective. So I might think it's mediocre, and someone else might be like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite song ever." So it's hard to figure that out, but both those elements have to be there. And I know that's kind of a cop-out answer. So I guess if I had to pick music production, music marketing, I would say music production, because if the music production is horrible, the music marketing is going to be horrible. You can't like outmarket a horrible song. But if you have just like a good song that's not a great song, great marketing can make it perform great. So they both have to be there, but if I had to pick one, it'd be music production. Nicholas Sosin, have you found yourself making music you know will fit into targeting, or just making whatever you like? I have tried making music that I know will fit a certain target. It didn't really help. Like my three best performing songs are in the order they came out: Socialize, Chains, and Life is Short. So Chains, everyone probably heard me talk about it on this channel. It just crossed 1 million streams. I'll probably make a video about that at some point. That one, it was just a collaboration with me and Adamant. He was the vocalist, and then I did the producer stuff. And we didn't really plan anything in terms of genre, it just kind of naturally happened. And then Socialize was also, it's kind of a weird song. Like it's a mixture of electronic music and pop and a little bit of like rock and also a little bit of hip hop. So it's kind of a weird song. I was almost hesitant to release it because I just didn't think it was the best thing I made, and I didn't think people would like it that liked my music. But I said, screw it, let's just release it. It's my second best performing song ever, both in Facebook ads and on Spotify. And then Life is Short kind of just naturally happened. Now, the song that I tried to force into a style that I thought would be more targetable was my song Dreaming. And that didn't do very good in Facebook ads, but it's the only song I've ever had that got editorial playlist placement. So I designed it to be very future-basy, like as close to Millennium, who's one of my favorite artists, that I could. And it got put on Bass Arcade, which is like one of the biggest electronic music playlists Spotify has, an editorial playlist. So I don't know if it helped with that, but it definitely didn't help on the Facebook ads. And now I just kind of don't bother. Like I in the end of the day, like I'm a music artist. I'm not just like a marketing person. I got into the music marketing because I like making music. And so at the end of the day, if I like a song and I don't think it'll fit, I'll probably just release it and try to market it anyways. Might not be the best strategy, but that's kind of who I am. But I'll probably try it again in the future. And I definitely, there was another song, my song Undone, I wrote to kind of be a sister song to Socialize. Did not work out. It was one of my worst performing campaigns ever. Waviest one. If you have numerous singles released before an upcoming project and one single's ads are performing much better than the other singles, would you dump all your budget into the best performing single at that point, or would you still run ads on the other ones? I would give each single its own campaign and its own budget. So plan ahead of time. If you know you're promoting like an album and you're going to do 3 singles or something, 3 more singles before that album drops, then you might give, say, each single I'm going to put $400 behind or whatever. Well, let's just call it $500 to make it more even. And then you plan for that, but also think about, like, if one of these songs is doing worse than you've been able to get in the past, what's your plan B? Like, if you can get that $500 budget and the song is doing awful, maybe cut it short to $250, so that way you have $250 in the bank to save for if one of those 3 songs is doing phenomenal. And then, that way if number 2 is fantastic, now with $750 you have allocated, and you keep going. And then when song 3 comes out, if it's doing worse than song 2, you can do the same thing. And now you've essentially turned song 2 into $1,000 budget and the other two into $250. I'd probably do that. I'd still promote every song, but if you find that one's doing better, I would emphasize that. Like, I still run ads on songs that are over a year old because they get me a cheaper cost per conversion than some of my newer songs. You know, every so often you're going to find a golden goose. Those 3 songs for me are Socialize, Chains, and Life is Short. I don't run them on a big budget, but like in between songs, I might put them at like $5 a day. And actually now I have one campaign that's at like $8 a day, and it promotes both Change and Socialize, and they kind of take turns which one does better over time. And Life is Short I actually have off now, but that's also one of my best performing ones that I've run in between songs too. So I focus on the golden goose if you find one, you know. But also don't like just abandon a song entirely. Kia, you're just saying your question will probably be answered if I answer these other ones. So hopefully your question was answered. If not, I'll be doing another one of these question things, so you can resubmit your question there. David Neal, if you enjoy composing in different genres such as orchestral and electronic, is just one example, should you have 2 personas entirely? If it's something as different as orchestral and electronic, I'd say probably, yeah. Like, you'll probably have to pick one of those genres to like focus on, because in terms of budget and just time you have available, you won't be able to do both to the amount you would be. Like in this case, I would pick electronic because it's probably has the better chance of being successful, just because orchestral music is a little more niche, right? Now, what you could do is you could try to find a way to combine these things in an interesting way that you know there's an audience for. Like, I've heard electronic music that has like heavy use of orchestral elements, and it can be very cool. So you might be able to find a way to combine them. I don't think you should do straight up orchestral and straight up electronic in the same project. It'll just really make things difficult for you. Like, if you listen to my previous albums under Andrew Southworth, I dropped like an instrumental electronic album, then I dropped an instrumental like orchestral album, and then I dropped my first like electronic album with vocals, and then I dropped my second electronic pop album. I guess both the ones with vocals were electronic and pop. And then since then I've just been doing singles that are kind of all that poppy electronic stuff that I'm kind of known for at this point. So I would focus on one. If you want to do both, make a second profile and just dump your releases on there, and maybe eventually when your time frees up, you'll have time to put more focus in the second project. I have a million side projects. Like, a lot of them are just me. When I have a bunch of music I'm writing that doesn't fit, I'll just like put it into one of my side projects just to have on there. And then, so there's nothing wrong with having a side project, but I don't push those nearly as much as my solo stuff because I can't. I don't have the time. And then Greg, is it true that YouTube videos are most successful if you do them correctly and easily outperform other methods for views or plays? I really suck at this part because I'm a musician and not a marketer. Lol, I must learn this stuff fast. So YouTube videos, when they pop off, are, I'd say, yeah, they do outperform other methods of views or plays. Now, like, if I were to think of my YouTube channel, and I don't know how many views I get per month, but as I'm talking, I'm opening up my my analytics so that I can go take a peek. On my YouTube channel, in the past 28 days, I've gotten 81,000 views. So if I was running like ads to get 81,000 views, now do 81,000. Like, let's say I was paying a penny per view, which is actually probably cheap considering a lot of my views are from expensive countries like the US, UK, etc., Canada, Germany, blah, blah, blah. I would have to spend $810 a month to get the same amount of views. And that's like a very conservative amount. I probably have to spend upwards of double that. So $810 to $1,600 a month to get the same amount of views that I get for free just putting out videos. So in that regard, yeah, easy win. Like, if you can get organic content to pop off on YouTube, like, it's very worthwhile. But you have to think about what I put into this. I've been doing videos for like over a decade, and I've released 600 uploads. Now, most of my growth has happened in the past 2 years, but I've still done, in the past 2 years, probably 180 videos or something, somewhere over like 150 plus videos, I think. Might be more, I don't remember, but it's a lot of work, and it's taken me a long time to grow this. So that's kind of the trade-off, right? It's not like if you can drop a video, you might get 3 views. You drop a second video, a week later, you might get 5 views. And you do a video a week for a year, you might be up to like 100 subscribers and maybe like 10,000 views or something. So like, it's usually, like some people pop off really quick, but it's usually a very slow, long grind unless you, right out the gate, you're exceptional at producing content. Like some people, when they know what they're doing, they have experience in other ways. They hop and make a YouTube channel within a year. They have a thriving business and YouTube channel. Now, the other advantage of YouTube videos is like when you get someone from an ad, like depending on what the ad was and how you did it, they don't engage with you in the same way that someone who comes in organically would. Like most of you watching probably found me because you searched for something on YouTube and you saw a video of mine that helped answer a question you had. Or perhaps you were researching other stuff and YouTube recommended my video to you because my video was likely to be something you'd be interested in. So you found my videos, you might have watched a couple, you started commenting over time, and then eventually you watch most videos I put out. And that's like, I would say that's a much stronger kind of relationship than if I were to pull someone with YouTube ads, for example, or Facebook ads. So yeah, I'd say when YouTube videos are done well and they pop off, it's definitely probably the most effective method of getting an audience, but also getting views and plays. Like getting an audience in general, I'd say organic is probably the most effective long term. But the thing is, it is long term. And so that's why I usually, like I made a video, and actually check this thing out here. It's a collab video I did with Adam Ivy, where basically, well, I mean, he did most of the video, but I just kind of asked him about a topic because I thought it'd be relevant. What to do before you do Facebook ads. And that's part of it. But another, like in general, like basically you shouldn't expect that you can just do nothing else but run ads. Like content fuels the ads, right? You have to make content in your ad, but also you should be making content outside your ads, and you should be trying to post stuff in social media, and you should be trying to reply to people. If you just do ads and do literally nothing else, you're probably you're not getting the most out of what you're doing. So yeah, thanks Greg. That was a good question. And that leads us to the end of this video. This went a lot longer than I expected. Go check out the community. There's a link in the description and the pinned comment below if you want to apply to get invited. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.